Good morning, student. So welcome back to online class. Actually in the previous class we discussed the North American, the land of prairies. Okay, in that last session we discussed the introduction of North America, who discovered the North America. In 1505, an Italian navigator, his name was Amerigo Vespucci. Okay, he discovered the North America as a continent. Then how the North America developed, how the North America developed. So the basic of science and technology, then goods, the means of transportation, the international trade, so then the domestic market. So because of that, the North America developed, then the location, physical setting and extent. So everything we discussed and extent. Then the physical divisions of North America. So what are the four physical divisions of North America? It is the Western Cordilleras, as also we can call it as a Rocky Mountains, the Great Central Plains, then Appalachian Highlands and the Coastal Plains. Then in the last session we discussed only the one division, that is the Western Cordilleras, isn't it? So these are the Young Fold Mountains. Young Fold means recently found mountains, the Western Cordilleras from Alaska to the north to Panama to south, the Rockies or the important ranges, then the Old Faithful Geyser. So everything we discussed in the previous class. The students, one more thing I want to tell you, please keep the textbook with you. So while taking the class, I will read each sentences because the words are very difficult. Okay, please keep the textbook with you and pencil, because here the maps are there. It is visible. If I place a map on the board, it is not visible. So I'm showing everything. So what are the contents in the textbook? Okay, please keep the textbook with you. So while I'm reading each sentences, please note it down. So now we are going to study about the Great Central Plain. Okay, the Great Central Plain, we can also call it as a Great Plains. In the page number 117, you can see between the North America and the South America, the one part, it is a Great Plain. So we can also call it as a Central Plain. Okay, now we are going to study about the Central Plain. So in the previous session, we studied the Western Cordilleras, isn't it? The Western Cordilleras is not suitable for the agriculture because it is based on the mountain ranges. Okay, it is not suitable for the agriculture. But the Great Central Plains, this place is suitable for the cultivation. Okay, so the Central Plains are also referred as the Great Central Plains. Okay, the Central Plain are also we can also call it as the Great Plains of Prairies. What is the meaning of prairies? The prairies means the grassland which is suitable. The grassland which is suitable for agriculture. So they lie between where? So they lie between Appalachian in the east and the Cordilleras in the west. So if you see the page number 117, so the Appalachian Mountains in the east side. Okay, in this place, the Appalachian Mountains in the east side and the Cordilleras in the west side. Okay, so they lie between the Appalachian in the east and the Cordilleras in the west. The plain consists of vast expanses. The plain, okay, this plain consists of vast expanses of 3/5 of land area, north America, land area of North America. That means 3% of land is suitable for the agriculture. So in this portion, 3% of land is suitable for the agriculture. So these plains are formed by the two rivers. Okay, these plains are formed by the two rivers, that is the river Mississippi and Missouri. Okay, the river Mississippi and Missouri. Okay, these are the two rivers. Okay, the plain consists of the vast expanse 3/5 of the total area of North America. That means 3% of land is worth for the agriculture. The two rivers, the Mississippi and the Missouri. So you can see it in the page number 117. You can see the river Mississippi and Missouri. So these two rivers are the famous rivers which is in the Great Central Plains. Okay, so not only the Mississippi and Missouri, one more thing, the other tributaries are also formed. So this is one of the most fertile plains in the world, and is a good farming region. So this is one of the most important fertile plains, and also this region is good for the farming. Okay, this place is very good for farming, but the Rocky Mountains are not suitable for the agriculture because it is based on the mountains. Okay, this place is suitable for the agriculture. The nudation of the area by ice sheets has resulted in the formation of a large number of basins. These basins are covered by lake. So what is the meaning for basin? So basin is the basin meaning, it is nothing but of the mouth of the river. Basin means nothing but mouth of the river. Mouth of the river. Okay. So what is the meaning of denudation? Moving water. Okay. The word denudation. Okay, please keep the book with you. The nudation of the area by ice sheets has resulted in the formation of a large number of basins. Basins is nothing but meaning of mouth of river. So denudation means is a moving water. Okay, basically this plains is suitable for the agriculture because the coastal plains, the important rivers, the Mississippi and Missouri, and also the other tributaries are from the coastal plains. So this is one of the most important fertile land for doing the farming. About 3% of land area is suitable for the agriculture. Okay, this is about the Great Central Plain. Okay, then next we are going to study about the Eastern Highlands. Next, we are going to study about the Eastern Highlands. Eastern Highlands are Appalachians. Appalachians. So what does this mean? This is the Appalachians. Appalachians means the continuation of islands. The continuation of islands. Okay. The Eastern Highlands are also known as Appalachians. Eastern side means this side. Okay. If you take the page number 129. There is a page number 117. If you take the page number 117, the eastern side portion, there are many islands. We can also call it as a Appalachians. These extended from Newfoundland to Alabama along with the eastern margin of the continent. Okay, the Appalachians are world found old founded mountains. Already the mountains are exist. Okay, these mountains are not young-fold mountains. These are old mountains. The eastern highlands, the Appalachians are old-founded mountains. Old-founded mountains. So already these mountains are existed. Okay, then here the water body is not found, because the Appalachians or old mountains have been denuded to the present height. East of the Appalachian regions of Piedmont Plateau and the Atlantic coastal plains. In the eastern side, okay, in the eastern side you can find the Appalachian Appalachian ranges, which the Piedmont Plateau, which is the Piedmont. Here you can see the Piedmont Plateau and the Atlantic coastal plain. Here we are having in the eastern side, we are having the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. In the west side, we are having the Pacific Ocean. Okay. The North America on the eastern side, we can see the many plateaus. In that plateau, one plateau is Piedmont Plateau and the Atlantic coastal plain. Here we can see the one more thing, the St. Lawrence River. Okay, the page number. If you see the page, if you see the page number 117, here the rivers of North America map is there. So in this eastern side, you can see the St. Lawrence River. This St. Lawrence River separated the Labrador Plateau. Okay, this here you can see the St. Lawrence River. Okay, the St. Lawrence River, it separates the Labrador Plateau. Here you can see the line. Okay, here you have the Labrador Plateau. Here the St. Lawrence River. It separates the Labrador Plateau from the Appalachian Ranges. Appalachian Ranges, it is in the eastern side. St. Lawrence River is also in the eastern side. Labrador Plateau is also in the eastern side. This St. Lawrence River separates. Here you can see the line, isn't it? Here you can see the line. So it separates the Labrador Plateau. Okay, but they are rich in coal. The Appalachian chains. So what are the famous in the Appalachian chains? One is ore, iron, rich in coal, then lead, zinc, iron ore, copper, then water powder, and wood. Okay, so these are the famous minerals in the Appalachian chains. So what are they? One is they are rich in coal. Okay, rich in coal, then lead, zinc, iron ore, copper, water power, and wood. And also, so this region has surprisingly a large population. Okay, so this region has large population, and its importance of North America in economically. Okay, economically in this place has improved. Importance in the North America, as well as the population is also more large population, and the economic is also significant in this place. Okay, this is about the Appalachian Islands ranges. The next one is coastal plain. The next one is coastal plain. Coastal plain. Okay, so you all know, so North America is also a continent. Then South America is also a continent. There are 7 continents, isn't it? Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, then Australia, Antarctica. So here, the North America is the third largest continent. Here we can see the North America has quite a long and intended coastal line. So the North America has a long and intended coastal line, and except in the south, because in the North America, again you see the map, the page number 121. Okay. Otherwise you can take the page number 117 also. Okay. Basically, the North America is surrounded by oceans, isn't it? In the western side, we can see the Pacific Ocean. The western side, we can see the Pacific Ocean. In the northern side, the east, we can see the Atlantic Ocean. In the bottom above, we can see the Arctic Ocean. Okay, this place is Arctic Ocean. But in the South America, there were no water bodies in the South America. That means where the Isthmus of Panama. So North America has a quite long extended the coastal line. So basically, the North America has a long extended coastal line compared to a South Isthmus of Panama. So the coastal line are narrow. If you see the place, the coastal line are narrow in the east, okay, in the northeast, and widen towards the southwest. It is the narrow strip is very long, straight. The coastal plain is narrow in the north and widen in the south. Okay, the average is 150 meter. The average is 150 meter above the sea level. 150 meter above the sea level. Okay, so there is a low relatively plain area with sandy oil which is relatively infertile. Okay, in the below side there was no water in the Isthmus of Panama. The land is a sandy, okay, the sandy soil which is not infertile, which is not suitable for the agriculture. Swamps and marshes are abundant. What is the meaning of marshes? We can find the stones. We can so in the rivers we can find the in that place or the rivers we can find the many stones. Okay, marshes and swamps and marshes which are not infertile, which are not suitable for the agriculture. The coast is intended by river mouths and bays on which many seaports are located. Okay, the coast is intended by river mouths, and also we can see the many seaports in this place. So we can see many seaports. Okay, this is about the coastal plain. Again, I am telling the North America has a long extended coastal plain, coastal line, except in the south. So in the south, we can see the Isthmus of Panama. So there were no water bodies compared to North America. Okay, then the coastal plain is narrow in the northeast and widened towards the south and west. Its meter is 150 meter above the sea level. In this place, we can find many swamps and marshes. The marshes are abundant, which means we can find many stones in these places. Okay, and also we can see the many seaports. Seaports are located in this place. The next we are going to study about the rivers and Great Lakes. Rivers and Great Lakes. Okay, so keep the textbook with you only while I am reading the each sentences, because It is not a regular classes. Only we are weekly twice we are having the online classes. Some students, they may forget the words also, which are very difficult to pronounce. Okay, keep the textbook with you. Now we are going to study about the rivers and Great Lakes of North America. Okay, you all know. So North America has have a few large and short rivers, isn't it, compared to South? So North America has more rivers are there, and also a number of lakes, and also we can find a number of lakes to form the unique physical features, and the continent around we call it as a Canadian shield. Canadian shield. Okay, North America is based and also have a large number of rivers, large rivers, and also the short rivers. A large number of lakes has a unique features of this continent around the Canadian shield. So what are the two important rivers which is important in the North America? As I told, one is the Mississippi and Missouri. Okay, the river Mississippi and Missouri, the Mississippi and the tributaries from the great river system in the North America. So there are two important rivers in the North America. One is Mississippi and Missouri. So these are the two important large rivers in the North America. So you can see the river here. Okay, the eastern side you can see the river Mississippi. But the Mississippi and its tributaries form the great river system of North America. So the Mississippi River formed the great river system in North America. So these rivers, these two rivers, the 2/3 of the area of the continent, and finally flows to the Gulf of Mexico, which is in the south, nearest to the south. So the Mississippi River and the other tributaries, which is short rivers. So they flow the 2/3 of the area, of Mississippi and tributaries. Their rivers finally flows to the river Gulf of Mexico, which is nearest to the south. Here you can see the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, the Missouri is the important tributary of Mississippi. So in the two rivers, the Missouri, okay, the Missouri is an important tributary of Mississippi. The other tributaries are, what are the other tributaries? So there are more rivers in the North America, short rivers and the rivers, and also few large rivers in that Mississippi and Missouri. The together drains of the continent. Finally, all the rivers above, which is in the North America, okay, the Mississippi River that flows to the nearest to the south, which is the place Gulf of Mexico. The river Missouri is the important tributary of Mississippi. So the other tributaries rivers. What are the other tributaries rivers? There are other tributaries rivers in the North America are Red River. If you are not having the book, please note it down. If you are having the book, just you mark it in the pencil. Okay. The other tributaries rivers of North America is the Red River. One more is Ohio. One more is Tennessee. Tennessee and Arkansas Plate. The words are very difficult, so keep it the book. The Snake, the Fraser, One more river is Columbia, Yukon, Colorado, Yukon. The other river is Colorado. One more is Rio Grande, McNice, Nelson, and St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence or other important rivers in North America. Okay, the North America is based, 1/3 of portions is based on the rivers. In that rivers, the Mississippi and Missouri are the important rivers. The Mississippi in the and its tributaries from the great river system in North America. They together drains the 2/3 of the area of the continent, that finally the water flows in the south of Gulf of Mexico. The Missouri is the important tributary of Mississippi. Okay, the other tributaries the Red River, Ohio, Cheney's Arkansas Plate, the Snake, Fraser, Columbia, Yukon, Colorado, Rio Grande, McNice, Nelson, and St. Lawrence. So these are the other rivers in the North America. Okay. Then next we are going to study about the Mississippi River. Okay, this is the Mississippi River, and this one is Missouri River, and this one is Grand Canyon, and this is Superior Lake, which is the largest lake in the North America. Okay, now we are going to study about the Mississippi River. Okay, the Colorado, the Columbia, and the Fraser are the west flowing rivers. If you see in the map, in the west side, you can see the Colorado, Columbia, and Fraser are the west. So western side flowing rivers. They are short and swift. They are very short and swift and flows into the Pacific Ocean. So where they flows into the Pacific Ocean, which is in the west side. The river Colorado and river Columbia are the west flowing rivers, and they are short and swift. Okay, the river Columbia flows across the Columbian Plateau. Okay, the river Columbia, if you see the map, you can see the river Columbia flows the river along with the Columbia Plateau. Okay, in the Columbia Plateau in the western side. The Colorado River drains into the Colorado Plateau and forms the Grand Canyon. Okay, the Colorado River drains to the Colorado Plateau. The Colorado River drains to the Colorado Plateau and forms the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon. It is this place we can also call it as a tourism place. It is a tourism place. It is a scenic beauty and also natural wonder of the world. So if the question arises, which is the nature wonder of the world? This is the Grand Canyon. So where it is located? It is located in the North America. Okay, the river Colorado, Columbia, and Fraser are the western side rivers. It flows to the Pacific Ocean. It flows to the Pacific Ocean in the western side. Okay, the river Colorado and river Columbia are the west flowing rivers. These two rivers are the west flowing rivers. They are very short and swift. The river Columbia flows across the Columbian Plateau. The river Columbia flows towards the Columbian Plateau and forms the Grand Canyon, which is the scenic beauty and also a tourism place. So this place we can also call it as a tourism place, and this place is the natural wonder in the world. Natural wonder in the world. Okay. Then the Canadian Shield is drained by small rivers and they flow into the Hudson Bay. So here we can see the Hudson Bay. Okay, these are the small rivers. In the map you can find the place, this place. Okay, this place is the Hudson Bay. Okay, the Canadian Shield is drained by small rivers and they flow into the Hudson Bay. The St. Lawrence is an important river. If we find here, we can find the St. Lawrence River, which separates the Labrador Plateau, Labrador Sea. Okay, the St. Lawrence is the important river. The St. Lawrence, please note it down. St. Lawrence is the important river of USA and Canada. Please mark it down in the pencil. Okay, if you are not having the book, please note it down. If you are having book, just you mark it in the pencil. The St. Lawrence is an important river of USA and Canada. It passes through the Great Lakes. Okay, the St. Lawrence here, it passes through the Great Lakes is in this place. Okay, the Great Lakes here, the St. Lawrence, it passes through the Great Lake. It remains frozen for 3 months in a year. It remains frozen for 3 months. What is the meaning for frozen? It is covered by ice. Okay, it's covered by ice for 3 months. For 3 months. Okay, St. Lawrence is an important river of USA and Canada. For the 3 months, the St. Lawrence river will be in frozen for 3 months. Okay, they are situated on the southern border of Canadian Shield. If you see here, you can find the Canadian Shield, which is in the page number 117. We can see the Canadian Shield. Okay, Canadian Shield. We can see here, this place is slightly nearest to the south side. Okay, it remains for the 3 years. So North America has a number of fresh water. Okay, North America has a number of fresh water, as I taught in few minutes back, isn't it? Many rivers are there: Mississippi, Missouri, then River Colorado, River Columbia, Ohio. So many rivers are there. North America is surrounded by water bodies, large number of fresh water. Okay, then you mark it this one. This is lakes. Okay, first you mark this one. The Canadian Shield is drained by small rivers and they flow into the Hudson Bay. The St. Lawrence is an important river of USA and Canada. It passes through the Great Lakes. Next one is lakes. Okay, North America has a large number of fresh water and salt water lakes. So what is the difference between the fresh water and salt water? The salt water is, the water is based on salt, which is not suitable for drinking purpose. Okay, but the fresh water, it is suitable for drinking water. Okay, this is so North America has a large number of fresh water and salt water lakes. The salt water which is not suitable for drinking purpose. So they are situated in the border of southern border of Canadian Shield. So these places are situated in the Canadian Shield, which is in the southern border below. Okay, So here we can see the Canadian Shield. It is in the southern part. Okay. Then the Huron, Ontario, McCain, Erie and Superior are the important lakes. So these are the important lakes. So what are the important lakes? Huron, Ontario, McCain, Erie and Superior are the important lakes in the North America. So just you mark it down. So here I am ending this session. Okay, till lakes I ended this session. So the next class will continue the climate and natural vegetation, then agriculture, then importance of minerals and industries. Okay, then population in North America. Okay, next class we continue this. Now I am ending this session. I hope this you understood. Thank you, team students.